Hopefully this shit works. Been messing with this for like 40 hours. I don't understand this shit, man. Are we good? Are we live? I don't know. Are we live? Chat? Guess we could wait a couple minutes to see if we're actually live. Okay, we got the chat box window, which is there. Okay, we don't need that to be showing. Lower thirds. Are we good? Can you guys, is the chat, is the stream going? We good? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for going live so early. This is what we're sipping on tonight. But let's go ahead and talk about something, man. As you guys can see by the thumbnail, we lost 2 Marines. We lost 2 Marines, and what's sad and painful is that we lost them here at home. Not even in a training exercise. We lost them coming from a training exercise, going back to their base or wherever the hell they're from. Let me explain to you guys right now what pisses me off. Okay. We entrust pilots, commissioned officers, pilots with $27 million aircraft, or it can even cost even more than that, to transport Marines from one place to another. However, whenever we entrust a Lance Corporal or a PFC to drive a truck to transport the exact same Marines from one place to another, in terms of safety and just overall responsibility goes out the window. What am I saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're beginning to lose the standard, okay? And this is why I love Lance Corporals. I love newly entry level Marines. Why? Because we have to train them. They're going to be the ones to replace us, to replace me, to replace Sergeant Majors, First Sergeant, Master Sergeants, etc. Okay? We have to start entrusting these Marines. We have to start setting an example. We have to start holding these Marines accountable. There's a new program that's been out for a while now. It's called Kaiken Maintenance or something like that. Kaiken Maintenance. Essentially what it is it gives each Marine, Lance Corporals, responsibility for a specific piece of equipment for maintenance. And if that equipment doesn't get maintenance, if its maintenance is upkept, that Marine is held responsible for that. That's brilliant. You want to know why that's brilliant? It holds Marines accountable. Here we are. We have 2 brand new Marines. I look at it like, damn, maybe they 2 brand new Marines, they could have watched the channel. They could have watched some of my videos before. Their life was taken before it even began. You want to know why? Negligence. Okay? So what happened is, for those who don't know, what happened is a 7-ton was overturned in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, coming from, I believe they were coming from a training exercise. I don't know whether if it was like a range or something. But the 7-ton overturned in the street, killing 2 Marines. Why is that important? You got to dig deeper. How did a 7-ton overturn? It's a 7-ton. It's a 14,000-pound vehicle. Okay? The tires are wider than any vehicle on the road, civilian-wise. How did that vehicle overturn? Because perhaps, maybe it was speeding. You guys know whenever we have a yellow light, we're trying to beat the light. Come on, we're all guilty of it. We're trying to beat the light. We're turning. We're making this light no matter what. Why? Because traffic is bad. We're trying to get home. We're trying to get home. So guess what? We're going to speed up a little bit to make sure we make this light. But what happens is, in our personal lives, it tends to transpire over to the Marine Corps. You guys will see this shit a lot for those who's willing to join. For all of my veterans, you know what I'm talking about. We get complacent. Okay? Somebody said the crash happened near me. I was in the field. That's sad. That's sad. You guys don't understand how sad it is to lose Marines, to lose service members, individuals who signed up to protect their nation at whatever cost, individuals who signed up to go overseas and fight and die for the country if they need to. It's sad that they don't even get a chance to do that, but they die here in the States in garrison. We have to sit back and we have to think about that. That's sad. These are Lance Corporal and the PFC, young individuals. They brand new to the Marine Corps, brand new. The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to start holding individuals on the exact same level as everyone else. Why? Because it's imprinted in their head, especially for Lance Corporals and Junior Marines below that. They're just Lance Corporals. We're just Lance Corporals. We don't have any responsibilities. All our job is simply to take orders and carry out orders. That's it. To do as we're told. You tell a young Lance Corporal that. You tell a young 18-year-old Lance Corporal who's driving a truck with individuals in the back. And I've been a victim of this myself. Hopefully, luckily, nothing happened. But you guys know, for those who were in the Marine Corps, for those who was at Camp Pendleton, coming back from a training exercise, we got some jackass Lance Corporal up there speeding through a training area in a 7-ton. We're all in the back getting thrown the fuck around. Why? Come on. The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is if we're going to entrust an officer, a pilot of a multi-million-dollar aircraft to transport Marines, it should be the exact same in terms of a junior Marine who's transporting a Marine on the ground. We should hold them to the exact same standard. And this is important. This is why we train. A lot of Marines are like, why the hell are we doing this? Why the hell are we always doing the same training exercise back and back? This is why. This is why. A lot of people, I have been fortunate enough to work with Mortar T. I've been fortunate enough to have Marines who are Mortar T operators under my charge in the Marine Corps at my old unit. My wife was a Mortar T operator. Okay. A lot of people look at Mortar T operators as just a motherfucker who drives a truck. It's not. It's an individual who's operating a tactical vehicle at any given time with either equipment or personnel. An operator. They are not drivers. They don't drive a fucking truck. They operate a truck. And guess what? Their precious cargo known as the Marines who's in the back of that truck, that's priceless. You can replace equipment. Who gives a fuck if a quad con falls off the back of a truck because of poor anything? Who gives a fuck? Yeah, you're going to get handled. You're going to get dealt with, but it's a quad con with equipment. What happens when 2 Marines start to fly out the back of the motherfucker, though? That's someone's baby. That's someone's child. Oh. Now the tables have turned. Ladies and gentlemen, this is international news for those who don't know. This is international. Anything we do, any motherfuckers, individuals who wear this uniform proudly, anything we do will be put on notice. That much higher. You want to know why? Because we are expected to perform. We're the military. People, the civilians, they look at us like we're perfect. We're the perfect Americans whose job and only obligation is to serve the country and not fuck up. Oh. Wow. Why is that? A lot of people may say this is a leadership issue. Is it? Because we're so quick to blame leadership this day and age. We so quick to blame that Marines unit, that Marines leadership, and instead of putting the blame on the individual itself. And that's why I said earlier, this Kaiken Maintenance, right? Which I feel that's a wonderful program. But why? Because for those who've been in the Marine Corps knows that the maintenance have been neglected for a while. Oh, your battery goes out on your personal car. Guess what? You go in the AutoZone that night to get that shit replaced. Why isn't it the same whenever it comes to equipment? Government equipment. Why? Because they don't give a fuck. Oops. I'm sorry I had to be the one to come up here on live stream and say it, but they don't give a fuck. Everybody by a show of hands, ladies and gentlemen, for those who live near military installations, who live near military installations, okay? Whenever I see a 7-ton driving down the street, I stay as far away from that motherfucker as I possibly can. Whenever I see a tactical vehicle in the street, for instance, Camp Pendleton, California, whenever I see a 7-ton or any piece of tactical equipment driving on the interstate, I stay as far away as I possibly can from that motherfucker. You want to know why? Come on. And I'm not saying this is everyone, ladies and gentlemen. All it takes is one bad apple to spoil the bunch. All it takes is one bad apple. One Marine who shows an ounce of negligence to become international news that will put us on the spotlight. It will put us on the spotlight as individuals who cannot perform up to their expectations. Something as simple as driving a fucking truck. Boy, oh boy. Someone said, be careful how you express yourself. Oh, absolutely, I am. Everything I'm saying right now is what's going through everyone's head over there in 2Meth. It is. The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to train these Marines. We have to give them that responsibility, because if we don't give them that responsibility, they're going to look at it as nothing. They're going to look at it as nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's common sense. It's common sense. How would you as a leader, you appoint a Lance Corporal or a PFC in charge of a truck. Hey, Lance Corporal, hey, PFC, this is your truck. This is your baby. Your sole purpose from now until you leave this unit is that truck. You will maintain that truck. You will ensure you know everything that's going on with that truck. You are responsible for the upkeep of that truck. Most importantly, you are responsible overall for this truck. And let it be known, if you have Marines in the back of that truck, you are responsible for those Marines' lives. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We do it with pilots. Oh, you guys don't understand the scrutiny and just the ounce of everything that pilots have to go through whenever it comes to aircraft. Yeah, so the aircraft worth millions of dollars and the 7-ton is only worth, what, $300,000, $400,000? Now we're getting into money. But whenever it comes to actual people and the safety of people, we hold pilots in aircraft on a higher level than we do 7-tons. 7-tons is all the way down here. Who gives a fuck about the 7-ton? No, I'm fine. Everything I'm saying is within. I'm not saying anything that will go against higher ups. I'm actually with the higher ups here. If you don't understand, or you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm with the higher ups here. Why? Because a lot of people will sit here and blame the higher ups. A lot of people will sit here and blame that command. Well, why wasn't the Marines getting trained? Whoa, hold on now. Okay. Because the thoughts that go within an individual Marine, and I've been a Lance Corporal before. Come on, I've been a PFC, a Lance Corporal before. We didn't care about that shit, man. Only thing we cared about is getting home. You don't see this every day, though. You don't turn on your computer, you don't turn on the TV and seeing that 7-tons or turning over every day. It's accidents that happen, unfortunately, that could have been prevented. We all know this. Somebody said not every Marine is built that way. You're absolutely right. And what happens? What happens if you get someone who's complacent who joins the Marine Corps? Someone who's complacent. You see what you guys getting what I'm getting at here? Okay? We're getting to the point to now it's getting scary. Why? Because now, and this revolves back to my initial point of we have to start holding these Marines accountable beforehand. We can't just hold them accountable whenever they fuck up. We can't just hold a Lance Corporal accountable whenever he fucks up. We have to mentor that Marine. We have to be let known to this Marine, here's my expectations for you before we even get into anything. If you do this, this will happen to you. If you do this, this will happen to you. Here are my expectations. We don't do that enough, especially whenever it comes to junior Marines. Please, someone call me out, tell me I'm a fucking liar. You guys don't understand how important it is to delegate. You guys don't understand how important it is to train Marines. Whenever we say train Marines, we mean train Marines. We don't just mean fucking make sure they can shoot a gun. They have to be proficient in their MOS, whatever it is, whatever their sole purpose is in the Marine Corps. They have to be that. They have to be that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, takes me back to our moment. We at work. It's a Friday night, right? We leaving base. We just trying to get home. The light's yellow. Fucking, I'm not missing this light. I'm going to hit this goddamn light. I don't care if I got to speed up a little bit. I'm going to make this light. Come on. Come on. This is sad as hell, man. And it really hurts me, man. This is sad. The same issue what happened with the AAVs, how the AAV sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And all those Marines in that dock, in that corpsman lost their lives. And I'm looking at it like, damn, like, what's more dangerous? Let's have a poll, ladies. What's more dangerous? What's more likely to happen? An aircraft falling out the sky? Or a 7-ton crashing into a minivan with 4 children in it? Which one is more likely to happen? Which more is more... My whole point about the yellow light is, think about it. That's my whole point about the yellow light. Our mindset, the way we do business in our own personal cars, right? That shit sometimes can transpire, and that shit can it can transfer over. It can transfer over. No, it is not aircraft. Car accidents is 10 times more likely than aircraft incidents, especially whenever we're talking about, the what ifs scenario. The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is we have to all be accountable. We have to, especially whenever you are in direct responsibility and control of someone else's life. You have to be responsible. You have to be held responsible for this. Not after the fact, before the fact. That's why we have roadmasters. That's why we have a PM checklist. That's why we do all of these things. That's why we have fucking manuals with thousands of pages. Marines, why do we have all these goddamn manuals? Why is this manual 500 plus pages? Why? Because everything that could possibly happen states in black and white in a book of how to prevent that. Why? Because it already happened before. We have the interest down here, my boy, man. He's been my boy since 9th grade in high school. I love you. I'm so passionate about this, man. I'm sorry if I'm coming up here sounding like I'm crying. I know it's Friday morning for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys probably in school, at work. Probably just waking up. I apologize for going live just early. But, man, you guys got to understand something, man. It's a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference. But at the same time, everything should be the same. Everything should be the same. I'm going to look at a pilot like, okay, sir, you're responsible for this aircraft. You're responsible for the Marines you're transporting in this aircraft to make sure they get there safely. Hey, PFC. Hey, Lance Corporal. Hey, Corporal. You're responsible for transporting these Marines from the rifle range back to the armory so that way they can get home. Somebody said Humvees with death traps. You guys don't understand, though. Just think about it. How do you flip a truck? Now, we all know some trucks are top heavy, but how do you flip a 14,000-pound truck? Just think about that shit. That shit a 7 tons just don't chip the fuck over just to tip over. Especially on pavement, especially on roads. Okay? Now, like I said again, everything is still under investigation. I honestly don't know what's happening, but just Just looking at what's happening, the vehicle turned over, coming from one intersection, trying to turn to a different intersection. You can put two and two together to know that vehicle was speeding and turning at the exact same time at speeds well above what's rated for that vehicle. Those trucks are easy to turn over to an extent. Now, we can't just sit here and say 7 tons are notoriously turning over. No, they just don't turn over by themselves. That vehicle is wide. That vehicle has very wide tires. That vehicle is not prone to just turn the fuck over. Why? Because it would have been addressed a long time ago and strapped a long time ago. That is essentially, you are speeding at that point. You're speeding into a turn. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, if it was in a tactical environment, like in a training area on dirt roads, okay, anything could have happened. Perhaps the frame could have went out. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps the chassis something could have broke with the chassis, right? But if you mean to tell me you're on fucking the pavement, you're driving on a fucking highway, and your shit flips over? Come on, no. You know what I'm saying? If you guys got to put two and two together though. Like, you guys got to think about it. Like I always tell young Marines, people who want to join the Marines, think like the leader. All right? I always tell PFCs, Lance Corporals, think like the gunny. Think like the staff sergeant. You got to think like us. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay, the incident happened, cool, but how do we go about the incident? How do we prevent this incident from happening again in the future? That could be hard. Where did this happen? This happened in Camp Lejeune. They were coming from, I believe, the rifle range or somewhere, where they showed the accident occurred, because Camp Lejeune, I guess, is split up into two sections, like the rifle range and where MARSOC and everyone works. It's somewhere different from the main actual camp. It's not like Camp Pendleton. Everything is on one base. So in order to get there, they have to leave the base, drive through state streets, right? Drive through civilian roads and everything off base to get there. So this happened in North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina roads are pretty, for the most part, pretty level. Okay, they don't have any crazy roads out there in that area. I know, because I've been there. Somebody said one of them was ran over by a Humvee behind them. Think about that shit. You're driving so fast in the vehicle. Inertia. There's a thing called inertia, ladies and gentlemen. We all learned this shit in high school, right? What is inertia? Inertia happens whenever the movement of one object suddenly stops. So all the objects within that object, they're going to keep continuing to go within the speed of that object before it stops. You know what the hell had to happen for individuals to fly out the back? If that 7 tons suddenly stopped, that means all those Marines in the back will go forward towards the front of that 7 ton. Am I correct here? So what had to happen for a Marine to get thrown out the back? To get thrown out the back of a 7 ton and be ran over by another tactical vehicle. All that shit had to happen within a split of a second. Because if I'm a driver of a Humvee, you can see someone fall out the back of a vehicle. Humvees are fairly heavy and slow. They can stop like that. Speeding up, that's a different story. But Humvees can stop fairly quickly. Come on. For those who don't promise, that's my wife, by the way. She's Motor T. She got out of the Marine Corps, but she was Motor T, so she knows what the fuck she's talking about whenever it comes about these vehicles and everything. Okay? Because she was an operator. All right. We got donations there. I appreciate the donations. I just have to speak on this. This is the perfect way to end having COVID, being quarantined in my house for 10 plus days. This right here. When I got this news, I thought it was fake. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. When I got this news that a 7 ton rolled over and 2 Marines were killed on a public street, on a highway, Yeah, he got charged. The Marine got charged. Why that's... And this brings me back to my point. Right? Now, I'm sure that Marine knew the consequences of what was going to happen to him if he flipped that truck. I'm sure he did. Totally fine. Understandable. They probably hammered that shit in the schoolhouse. I don't know. I don't know that Marines unit. I don't know what they go through. I don't know their training. Whatever. I do know before they're supposed to depart, they have an entire logbook. They have an entire scheme of maneuver that they must read and sign, stating that these are the risks of operating this vehicle. I accept the risk of all of these. I accept all of these risks. That I do know. They have to pass an inspection by the roadmaster. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who's motor T, before they take off. And the motor T talks to those individuals, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Why? Because this could possibly happen. Okay? The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is that Marine knew what to do and what not to do before operating that vehicle with Marines in the back. Come on. Somebody said, can we drop a link to an article? Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll go on Facebook right now. For those who don't know, for those who have Facebook, you guys can go through either Second Marine Logistics Group, or you guys can go to Second Meth. Okay? Let me see if there's an article here. There's a bunch of photographs of these Marines. As far as if there's an article, is it Second Marine Logistics Group, DVD Hub, official press release? Let's see if I can go here. Give me 1 second. You guys can check this shit out. Let's go back here to YouTube. And I can paste this article right. You guys let me know if you guys can pick that up. Page 11. No, that's a court-martial offense, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't understand this. And that's why that's my whole argument in regards to this, right? Because we all look at it like, oh man, that shit will never fucking happen, right? Like I'm saying again, like it's no different. It's no different from a pilot being responsible for Marines in the back of his aircraft getting them from point A to point B safely than it is Lance Corporal with a fucking 7-ton. There's no difference. Who cares? Okay, we have a plane and a fucking 7. Who cares? The principle remains the same. You have cargo that is fucking replaceable. Okay? Those Marines are replaceable, but hear me out. They're priceless. Their parents is not going to get those Marines back. You see what I'm saying here? And sometimes that's how we think. You got to think like a Lance Corporal here in this situation, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Assistant driver. There's nothing that assistant driver could have done. What the A driver is going to do? Hey, man, slow down. That's the point I'm trying to make. A drivers should be NCOs. And I make this fucking argument. I made this argument ever since I was an NCO. A drivers should not be fucking junior Marines. An A driver should always be a higher rank of that individual driving the truck. Why? Because now you have an extra fucking buffer zone of delegation and authority over that Marine who's driving that truck. Oh, you guys don't want to talk, man. I feel like a preacher up here preaching, man. I feel like I'm just up here just giving out information. I can tell you guys the standard for third meth right here because we have so many accidents. NCOs or A drivers. NCOs or drivers. Why? Because Lance Corporals out here Junior Marines out here cannot be trusted to operate a truck. And that's the NCO's fault. Yes, indeed. We all know we need an A driver. Everyone's scrambling to find an A driver. Who are we going to choose to be an A driver? The boot. The newest Marine there. The newest Marine in the goddamn shop is going to A drive the truck. We all know this, ladies and gentlemen. That Marine don't know anything about safety. He doesn't know anything about what needs to happen. He doesn't know anything about keeping that driver in check. No. Come on. Yes, NCOs should be the A drivers of those vehicles. Why? Because I guarantee you, most units, they don't think about that shit. They're going to think about the shit is, okay, let's, for instance, you got rifle range. Okay, you got range all week. Who's going to A drive that truck? It can't be nobody who's shooting. So it has to be someone who's not shooting. You think NCO is going to volunteer to do that shit? No, the NCO is going to be like, hey, you fucking PFC, brand new into the fleet. You go drive that truck for the week. And here we have it. Those individuals, they don't understand the responsibility and roles. Ladies and gentlemen, out here in Okinawa, you need a card to drive a vehicle. You need to attend a no shit class given by licensing to receive a card just to drive a vehicle. That's how crucial it is out here. Because why? We are in a different country and accidents happen. So that's why you need someone who has authority to be the one to supervise that entire operation. Come on. Boots can't be trusted to do anything. Why? Because they don't know. They don't have the experience. They don't have. If I'm driving a truck, I'm already going to know. All right, motherfucker. Like, is the truck good? Did you PM the truck? Do the lights work? Do everything work on this truck? All right, don't be driving fucking stupid because I'm going to check you. Simple as that. PFC is in the truck. Hey, what's going on, bro? Yeah, we're going to the range. Okay, let's go ahead and sit down here, drive the truck. Okay, cool. Come on, man. Yes, a corporal or a sergeant. I don't give a fuck. And this is coming from a motherfucker who just got promoted in December 1st. So I was a sergeant before December 1st. And this is coming from a newly promoted staff sergeant. Corporals or sergeants should be drivers in those trucks. It's not gonna benefit any Marines if NCOs are the only ones driving. Because guess what? Those junior Marines, they're just gonna be useless. They're just gonna be useless until they pick up. So what use are they? No use. So that's what I'm saying. Most NCOs, you absolutely right. Most NCOs are fucking lazy, and that's the issue. That's why the Marine Corps changed everything. That's why the Marine Corps is making it to where a Marine has to serve 4 years before picking up the rank of the sergeant, which I think is brilliant to an extent. Why? Because we're promoting these motherfuckers who don't need to be getting promoted. Wow. And I thought I was just here running my mouth. Everything has an impact on everything, in a sense. Some barely drove in these civilian war not responsible. You hit the nail right on the fucking. Think about all those motherfuckers who joined the Marine Corps who probably didn't even have a driver's license before the recruiter was like, hey, man, you got to get one to do this job. Okay, I'll go get a driver's license. No problem. You talk about 18-year-olds who probably drove at the age of 16 or 17. So you're talking about individuals with less than 3 years of driving experience responsible for a $400,000 vehicle that weighs upwards of 14,000 to 20,000 pounds. Now you tell them to go take these on these roads. You got to drive this shit from point A to point B. I feel like the requirements for those MOSs should be a little bit higher. That's just my personal opinion. No one gives a fuck what I think, though. You know, I feel like those schoolhouses should be a little bit longer, especially Motor T. I feel Motor T schoolhouse should be probably a week or two longer. That's just my personal opinion in regards to this shit. Excuse me. Even in 06, most in HE operators are not required to have a driver's license to become HE operators. But it's the same thing, right? You're operating a vehicle that drives on streets, that can drive on roads. I don't know if they changed that, but that was the case whenever I was in. They also need to drive so that when they become an NTO, they can be trusted to drive and be an driver or else. Exactly. How long is Motor T school? I don't know if my wife is still in. She can tell you how long Motor T school is. I honestly don't know. I know it's not long enough, though. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not long enough. This is why we train, though, ladies and gentlemen. This is why every year we have specific TNR standards as a Marine, regardless of your rank, that we must hit every year pertaining to your MOS. This is why. MOS. So she said, my wife said a month. So Motor T MOS school is a month. Ladies and gentlemen, popular demand. Do we think that's long enough for Motor T? I don't think it is. I don't think that's long enough. Hell, Bulk Fuel School longer than that. I mean, that's just me though, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you have your CDL schools, you have your Schrock course, you have your all your other courses and everything like that. But the basic Motor T school is a month. So we're told. Okay. All it takes for my MOS is 40 hours driver's training. And that could be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm coming at here. You know, things have to change. We have to change. There's nothing wrong with changing. There's nothing wrong with evolving. The point I'm trying to get out here, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching this stream, you're in the Marine Corps, you're a Lance Corporal, you're a PFC, hell, you're a corporal. You guys got to start taking this shit seriously because people's lives are at stake. Okay? I look at my Marines. I don't look at them as Marines first. I look at them as human beings first. I'm going to treat you like a human being before I treat you like a Marine. Why? Because I know you got a mother who cares about you. I know you got a father who cares about you. I know you probably got kids. I know you probably got a wife. I know you probably got a sister and brother who wants to see you soon. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Maybe that's the inner father of me speaking and talking and coming out. Okay. You know, and I take that shit seriously, man. Safety training, that shit is serious. And I pound that shit into my Marines. Because I'd be damned. I'd be damned if we go out there and we're negligent. Why? Because we can't even perform the basic fundamentals of safety and doing our job the correct way that we've been trained to do. All they care about is if you have a license. Once you show that, they think you're good enough to drive anything. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's true. I care what you think, AO. I'm required to have a Class B CDL. I drive a $250,000 garbage truck. I'm held to a higher standard than them. Yeah. I don't even think they have. I think they're just a class C. They're Class C. That's it. Now, I know for some of them who get out of the Marine Corps, they can take their experience, fill out a form with the DMV to get, you know, either a Class B or a Class Alpha driver's license. But that's all that's required is a Class C driver's license. That's all that's required. For those who don't know, they don't require any type of special driver's license. You know, you don't have to go to school, driver's school or whatever for a specific type of driver's license. I think of it like, damn, like an LVSR is the same size as a bus. You mean to tell me you require motherfuckers to have a Class B driver's license to drive a bus, but not a tactical vehicle that weighs twice as much as that bus? I'm just talking to you guys here. Okay. Do you plan on staying in for 20 years? I honestly don't know. That's I don't look too far ahead in the future in regards to that, because anything can happen. You know, I can become a millionaire tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I can become a millionaire tomorrow, and I'm out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that. So that's why I don't think too far ahead in regards to that. I'll be hitting 8 years later this year in July. July is when I hit my 8-year mark. Surprise, I'm a boot. 7-year staff sergeant. That's totally fine. I earned it though. I worked hard for it, goddammit. And that's the only thing that matters. And that's what I'm trying to pound to people, you know. They need to extend the schooling just as they did for SOI. You're absolutely right. I think they should extend the schooling. Because guess what? The Marine Corps is going to get in the back end. They're going to get more qualified, more trained Marines who understands their job to a better level as a entry-level Marine who's going to, one, be doing the bulk of the work. Just like I said again, ladies and gentlemen, you get 3 Lance Corporals from the school or 3 PFCs, Lance Corporals from the schoolhouse. Guess who's going to be driving most of the trucks at the shop? Them 3 motherfuckers. Okay? In my opinion, there is no need to extend the schoolhouse. It gets repetitive. That's all we do is drive and drive and drive. Okay? Promise, my wife. Let me ask you this, though. You guys drive and drive and drive. Totally fine. That's your job. That's your purpose. Cool. Anyone can drive a truck or drive anything. Okay? My point is, how much in terms of safety PMs, and how much in terms of safety did you guys learn there? Be honest. Different outcomes. Be honest. How much of that stuff did they teach? How much of the actual, the technical manuals did they teach in regards to that truck? How much in terms of the inertia of that truck? How far and how fast can that truck turn safely without flipping over? How much of that stuff did they teach? What is that? Shoot, maybe the cutting scores too. 4 years. No, 7 years. 7 year. I've been a sergeant for 4 years. I was a sergeant for 4 years. 4.5 years. 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 years. Damn near. Yeah. We aren't sending conventional forces to war anymore. Yeah, cross train. I mean, you can always cross train, but no one is going to expect someone else to cross train to do that specific job other than that person whose sole purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a reason why Marines can't get a license to the LVSR other than Motor T. There's a reason Marines can't get a license to a MK970 other than Motor T. Oh, you guys want to know why? It's not the fact that if those Marines get those licenses, Motor T becomes obsolete. It's not that. It's the fact that those are bigger vehicles that you have to be specifically trained to a level to operate those vehicles. That's why only regular Marines can only get either Humvee or 7-ton license. They can't get all the other fancy licenses. You know, most knowledge is taught in the fleet. That's the problem. Because guess what? Okay. Most knowledge is taught in the fleet. That's the absolute problem. That is my biggest pet peeve. Why? Because where are you doing your job? The fleet. So yeah, totally fine. You're going to learn in the fleet. That's totally fine. But you shouldn't learn safety in the fleet. You should not. You should not know what's right and for what's wrong in terms of operating tactical vehicles in the fleet. You shouldn't. You should learn that shit before you even get to the fleet. That should be a requirement for you to pass and graduate your MOS school or whatever. No, absolutely not. Not with safety. Okay, totally fine. You might know, like, okay, you may know how to use the crane on a fucking 7-ton or some shit in the fleet. Totally fine. You might know how to better load a vehicle in the fleet. Totally fine. That's training. That's stuff to make you get better. But in terms of safety and operating that vehicle, you should be an expert before you even leave that schoolhouse. And that's the problem that we have in the Marine Corps as of now. Everyone wants to just to get put on a fucking standard of passing. It shouldn't be passing. Not especially if you're going to be doing an MOS to where you're going to be responsible for other individuals' lives. No, you think pilots graduate fucking pilot school? Oh yeah, you safely landed this aircraft to the ability to where these Marines can get out and go on about their day. Fuck no. You think pilots graduate the schoolhouse, or you think pilots graduate from pilot school with bare minimum knowledge in terms of safety and doing what to do and what not to do? Come on. That's the point I'm trying to get at. That hurt when they reported driving a bit too fast. It is. Come on. It is. I don't drive anything. My job is not to drive anything. The point I'm trying to make is I've worked with Motor T. I had Motor T under my charge, meaning that if something happened with those motherfuckers in terms of trucks, I will probably be held responsible. So I had to spin myself up, and I had to know all of their qualifications. I had to know their do's and their don'ts, and that's the issue. Isn't safety training an ongoing evolution that takes place in the fleet? No, it is not. It is not. Okay, let me put it in this perspective, okay? You are an HE operator, okay? You are an HE operator. Let's just say you're an HE operator. You're in the schoolhouse. You have the tram. Don't you think that they should tell you exactly how much weight that tram can lift safely before you leave that schoolhouse? No, safety is nothing you should ongoing know. You should know everything in regards to your MOS safety-wise before you graduate the schoolhouse. Because guess what's going to happen? If that's not the case, if you're still learning, brand new PFC gets to the fleet, he's an HE operator. Someone else who's not an HE operator, hey man, can you come lift this shit? Can you come lift this ISO container? Cool, yeah, man, I can. Not knowing that ISO container weighs 40,000 pounds because there's a bunch of shit in it. And the tram can only lift upwards of 12,000 pounds. So he goes to attempt to lift that fucking that ISO container. It breaks the tram. The tram shit snap off, and the fucking tram flips frontward. True story. I'm not just saying this shit just to say this shit. That happened in my first unit. That's all ties in within training, within safety. There's a difference between knowing how to do your job and knowing the safety way of doing your job. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got to think like me. You guys are thinking from the bottom up, which is totally fine, but you guys got to think like me. Think like the leaders who've been around for a long time. That's not what I'm saying. They're not teaching brand new Marines. I know it's taught in the schoolhouse. I'm saying, hear me out here. I'm saying majority of what happens is not happening in the schoolhouse. It's happening in the fleet. Well, after the fact. So safety, it should be one of those things that should be taught. But you're missing my point, baby. You're missing my point in terms of, as leaders, that's our job to upkeep and to keep that going. Why? Because guess what happens when we get to the fleet? All that shit we learned from the schoolhouse goes out the window. We start learning new ways to do things based on what's the best way to do it. Totally fine. But in terms of safety, that shit should be by the book from when you learned it. It should be by the book. The safety should never be like, oh, we did this shit before, so we're going to do it again. It worked before. No. Y'all are thinking from the bottom. Y'all not thinking from where I'm thinking at right now. That's why we have TNR standards. What's a TNR standard? A TNR standard is a training, it's a training guide that breaks it down specifically of what Marines need to know and what Marines need to be trained to every single year to meet that TNR standard. That's what that is. And safety is a big TNR standard that needs to be hit every year. But you'll be surprised how many fucking training TNR standards not being uploaded into PICTEMs each year for whatever unit. You'll be surprised. I know things happen. That's totally fine. I know things happen. I'm a human. We are humans. But at the same time, this is not a one. This happens far too much. You guys don't understand how many accidents happen whenever it comes to tactical vehicles each fiscal year. That shit is ridiculous. Like here in 3rd Meth, we had like 121 accidents this fiscal year or last fiscal year. That's 121 times out of 365 days a year that something fucking happened. So don't sit here and say shit happens. Yeah, things happens. That's totally fine. But when things start to happen above and beyond what's expected, then that's a problem. That's what I'm trying to say. You still have COVID? No, I don't have COVID anymore. I hope not. I mean, I feel fine. First, like 5 days, I was fucked up. But ever since then, the last 5 days, I've been totally fine. They said you get over it like usually in like 4 to 5 days. So I think I'm good. I can tell you how many pictures of rings, watches, necklace going through the human body they showed me at AIT, and people still wear foreign object debris like that on our aircrafts because of complacency. For those who don't know, FOD means foreign object debris. It means that any type of debris that's not attached, that's not meant for that aircraft or not built on that aircraft is classified as foreign object debris. And that's huge because I'm a fueler. And my job is to refuel aircraft on flight lines. And that's one of our jobs to search and scour that flight line for FOD. That's why we don't wear covers on the flight line. Why? Because covers can get sucked up, and that shit can get sucked up by a fucking engine and fuck up the engine. That's why we don't wear necklaces. Why? Because the necklace can get sucked off our fucking neck right into an engine. You guys are learning something here. And that's what I want. I want you guys to jump into these live streams so that way you guys can learn something. I got to use the restroom real quick. Just give me 5 seconds. Sorry. I'm sorry I took some time out of y'all. Y'all still here? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all still here. Okay. Let me see. Same when I was in Oki, I just had the nastiest flu and tested negative for COVID. Yeah, man, it's bad. You guys be safe out there. Most Marines do not learn doctrinally and learn based on say it again, Alto. Say it again. See, my mind works like a warrant officer's mind. For those who don't know, we have to be able to know our job, not only street smart in a sense, we have to know our job doctrinally, meaning by the book. That's doctrine. Anything that's not written in doctrine, meaning anything that's not written in black or white in terms of how you're supposed to do your job, it's essentially useless in a sense. And he hit the head right on the nail. Like, we learn based on past experiences of Marines who was in the fleet. I.e., we have ass shit. Especially whenever it comes to maintenance. So, we have to be able to learn our job by the book, i.e. doctrinally. And he hit the nail right on the head there. Somebody said, nice Christmas tree. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This Christmas tree is going to stay here until probably the beginning of February. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm really good whenever it comes to setting this shit up. But whenever it comes to taking this tree down, I suck. Look how many ornaments and shit are on it. You got to take all that stuff off and put it up. You got to deal with all that glitter getting every year this Christmas. Last year we had this shit was up halfway through February. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I was like, damn, like I got to get my stuff together. But yeah, it's still up. I mean, it's going to be a big empty space whenever I get rid of it though. So not you guys asking if yes, I washed my hands. You guys didn't hear me wash my hands? Here's my paper towel from when I wash my hands, by the way. Fucking weirdos. Let me see whatever we got going on. Different units will have junior Marines who've been in for years teach newly graduated Marines. They could be told something different, and that's the issue. And that's why I also said we have to start learning things by the book doctrinally versus passing down information. Don't get me wrong, passing down information is great to an extent, but they should know they should know the actual way of doing things before anything else. And that's totally fine. Okay. I'm quite sure junior Marines are not told the fucking speed in a tactical vehicle with Marines in the back. I'm quite sure they're not told that. Okay. I'm quite sure. And that's totally fine. That's one of those things that, like I said, like sometimes we allow our personal lives and our personal vendettas to take a hold of us in terms of being a Marine. In this case, trying to race the light, could have been a case. I don't see another case for that. I don't see a 7-ton rounding a turn going 20, 25, 30 miles over the speed limit to try to make a turn, because that's probably how fast that vehicle had to be traveling over the speed limit to have tipped over the way it did. Why is the burning of training on the unit? Why? Because that unit is responsible for training them. So, okay. Let me break it down for you guys from the top up, all right? Because I'm a staff sergeant now. I think like a staff sergeant. I don't think like a junior Marine or anyone in regards to that. Okay. Certain issues are on the unit. Certain issues. If a Marine goes out there and get a DUI after being told 40 times at the safety brief not to get a fucking DUI, that's not on the unit. That's on the Marine. Okay. Just so we're clear. That's the way I think about it. Okay. However, if Marines go out there in a tactical vehicle that commanding officer's responsible for, okay, that commanding officer who's responsible for every single piece of equipment, as well as Marines who fall underneath his charge, because of accidents that happened that could have been prevented, that unit is solely responsible. Now it doesn't the blame don't necessarily have to be placed on an individual, a specific individual. It could be placed on several individuals. It could be placed on that Marines fire team leader, squad leader, platoon commander, etc. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to get at in terms of this. Some things Marines are just going to go out there and do, and it's going to be their fault. However, depending on how they do it and what they do, it can also be the fault of that unit as well. And that's the issue. That's the never issue. That's the dirty fucking part of the Marine Corps right there. That's the dirty part of the Marine Corps. My Marines go out there and do something stupid this weekend, because it's Friday night here. If my Marines go out there and do something fucking stupid, it doesn't matter if it's solely his fault or regardless. Someone is going to give me the side eye. Why? Because they're my Marines. So someone somewhere is going to give me the side eye. They're going to look at me funny. I mean, that's the bad part about being a leader in the Marine Corps. But it's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? It's totally fine. Because it keeps us accountable. It keeps us at the point to where we have to keep these Marines accountable. And that's what I'm saying. If you guys are leaders, you guys have to keep those Marines accountable. You have to. Because if you don't, everything that they know and love is just going to fade right away. And they're going to get complacent. And guess what happens whenever they get complacent? They're going to be complacent at their jobs. What happens if you get complacent at your jobs? Accidents can happen. Accidents that could have been prevented could happen. That's the thing. Now, there are some things out there that could be, outside of your control. Totally understandable. But if there's something that's within your control that happened, well, on Okinawa, the biggest problem is Marines raping locals. That's not the biggest problem. That's not the biggest fucking problem. It happened. It happens. Okay, but that's not the biggest problem. Marines don't rape locals every week. The biggest issue here is accidents in tactical vehicles. That's the biggest issue here. Okay. All this could have been prevented, and this guy that whoever makes his comment thinks happened things happens. Are you kidding me? Yeah, certain things happen. Certain things happen. Whenever you bring fatalities into the mix, that conversation, it starts to shift a little bit to the side. Okay. All right, cool. Could have been a whole lot different versus a 7-ton flipped over, no Marines lost, no Marines were harmed in the incident versus a 7-ton flipped over and 2 Marines were killed. ISO containers are different, and different cargo, for example, is inspected, signed, and labeled. Yes, that shit is supposed to be signed and signed off by embarkers, who is supposed to be inspected by roadmasters before that vehicle can depart. So you're absolutely right. Okay. But in terms of whenever you put individuals in that vehicle, the driver is responsible. A lot of people think it's the A driver. No, it's not the A driver. It's only the A driver if that A driver is the convoy commander. Okay, because the A driver is the convoy commander is supposed to be A driver. A lot of units, they go out there and they do business a dirty way. They have the convoy commander driving the truck. The convoy commander is not supposed to drive. Okay. But in absence of a convoy commander, the driver will serve as that if needed. So if you're just doing routine traveling between point A to point B on base with individuals in the back, speeding is always going to be dangerous, especially in a fucking 14,000-pound truck. You kidding me? Where did you go to your base? I went to Virginia. I went to an Army base for my basic training, for my schoolhouse. I went to Parris Island for basic, sorry. I remember driving around in a Typhoon with a vehicle that had little to no grip to the road. See, that's the issue. That's not a you issue. That's a unit's issue. And that's why with this new Kaiken Maintenance, why I love about it is the Marine Corps is taking the responsibility from a unit and holds. I mean, the unit will still be responsible, but we're putting it down to the operator level, which meaning that, let's just say I have 5 maintainers in a maintenance section and I have 5 trucks. I'm going to assign one of those maintainers a truck. Okay, motherfucker, you are responsible for everything that happens to this truck. This truck is not fixed. This truck is down right now. Your sole purpose is to get this truck up and running. You. The same goes for you guys for the rest of these 4 trucks. Why is that important? You're holding Marines responsible. Now you're putting their back against the wall in a sense, which in some cases that's needed. Because guess what? If that's not needed, Marines are going to look at it as if that ain't my shit. I don't got to worry about it. It ain't mine. You see what I'm saying? Garbage truck is about 20,000 pounds. Yeah. Think about it, man. That's a lot of weight getting shifted and moved around the road. A lot of people don't understand that shit. And those trucks are hard to stop too. They're hard to stop because why? Most of them rely on air brakes. We all know the bigger the truck, the harder it stops. So it relies on air brakes. Okay. I've been in a crash in Oki. Was it speeding or just Oki speeding? You know, Americans have a lot of, we have an issue with speeding out here in terms of Americans because the speed limit in Japan is so slow. Literally, like the average speed limit here is like 35 kilometers an hour. That's like nothing. What is 35 kilometers an hour or 50 kilometers an hour? That's like 30, 35, 36 miles an hour, right? Like that's like the average speed. That's slow as shit. Especially if you're driving a tactical vehicle that doesn't display kilometers per hour, it displays miles per hour. Oh, you guys, look at that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oki roads are slippery. Why? Because that shit's made out of like coral. It's made out of coral rock, especially Okinawa. You guys notice that like I have brand new tires on my car. Whenever it rains, my car is a front wheel drive car. Whenever I go, if I'm sitting at a red light and it's raining, I literally have to like ease on the gas or else my front tires will spin out. And those are brand new fucking tires. You see what I'm saying? The roads are hella slippery. DWK says sick mic, bro. Yeah, man, this is my I actually need to I don't want to use this mic anymore. I want to get like I want to use a Shure podcast mic. This is my Rode mic, by the way, and it's only like a $20 it's on like this just mic stand, or what is it, like a boom arm or whatever. It only costs like $20. And my wife got mad at me because I ordered a $100 Rode microphone arm. She was like, why you do that? I was like, because it's cheaply made, for one. It has springs on it. Look, there's springs. You guys can't see the springs. There's springs on this shit. It's short. I have to like ghetto rig it up a little bit for it to work. I was like, just let me get a no shit, a name brand, a good microphone arm that's gonna last me for the next couple of years. 21 miles an hour is 35 kilometers. Yeah, I mean the average here literally is like 50 kilometers per hour. A lot of people don't understand that shit. And that's slow as shit. 50, that's like 30 miles an hour, 36 miles an hour. It may sound fast, but it's not fast. So what's going to happen is Marines are going to drive to a speed to where they're comfortable to get to where they need to go in a timely manner. So, and that's an issue, Of course, Marines with the treat. I mean, where are you stationed right now? I pick up soon. I'm trying to go to Third Mall again, or Hawaii, First Meth. Don't care. I'm stationed in Okinawa, Japan. I don't like telling motherfuckers what base I'm on because motherfuckers are weird out here. I'm in Oki. I'll get with you offline, DWK. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'll get with you offline. Oh, well, Element, I'm with the MOG. I can tell you that. I'm with the MOG. Drive from Foster to Kinzer was brutal. It's not even that far. For those who don't know, Camp Kinzer from Camp Foster is only like 3 miles. It's only like 3-4 miles away. A lot of motherfuckers don't know that shit. It'd take you a good 35-40 minutes to get there, though. I'm like, damn. Take me 35 minutes to drive 3.5 miles from one base to another in Okinawa, Japan. That's the issue we have. So whenever Marines get on the interstate or whatever, they let that shit loose. So why? Because we're used, especially here in Okinawa, Japan, of driving very slow. Sounds like in Hawaii, where it's 35 damn near everywhere. So, yeah, because you guys are on the island. It's small. It's compact. You guys don't understand that, man. But you go out in North Carolina, the speed limits, especially in those highways. What are the speed limits on the interstates? In what is it, 70? 70 miles an hour on the East Coast? Because I know it's only 65 on the West Coast. I think it's 70 on the East Coast. So it's a little bit. It's fucking it's terrible out here, man. For those who ever been stationed in Okinawa, you're driving. It's terrible out here. Corpsmen get fucked at MOG unless they in COB, unless they get COB. Otherwise, they're counting med supplies in a warehouse batting their. I mean, no. There's a lot of units out here. You can come to a CLR, or you can come to a COB. It all depends. Meanwhile, you have Hellcat PLC driving 150 on leave and drive at LMTV that's supposed to go 21 miles an hour. The only time I spent in Japan was during the Mew, and dudes wouldn't let me and my boys into the club because we were Americans. Yeah, man. It's a lot of places out here they don't fuck with Americans because Americans go in there, get drunk, and fuck shit up. Like, I don't blame them. I don't blame most of these businesses out here in Okinawa. Which I don't want to let these motherfuckers in either. Come in here, drink and fight and fuck my club up. The sign says 70 speeds of NASCAR. You're absolutely right. It gets up to 70 miles an hour, which means 90 miles. You're absolutely right. And motherfuckers are going to push that 7-ton. They're going to push that Humvee to its limits. And that's bad. Especially if that shit is like only... It's a difference between a 10 Vic convoy and a 2 Vic convoy. Come on. Or, in a sense, a 1 Vic convoy. Come on. Hello from Germany. Hey, what's going on, Life Camera Creations from Germany? Germany, I've been to Germany before. I was only at the airport, but I drink some beers there. So that makes me a resident, right? That makes me German. If you consume alcohol in Germany, you're German. Fuck all of that. Okay, because they have some different stuff in their alcohol. I don't know what the hell y'all put in y'all beer, but goddamn, let me tell you. Let me see. Yeah, I love you guys, man. Thank you guys so much for stopping by early in the morning. What is it, 10:30 in the morning? 10:30 on the East Coast, 7:30 on the West Coast. Get y'all asses up, okay? If you guys watching my videos, I mean, we're in the military, interested in the military, okay? If you think this is early, I got news for you. You guys are going to be waking up a little bit earlier. So get up, watch the show, watch the stream. I thank you guys so much for being here. It really is sad what happened to those Marines. I honestly get teared up whenever I see that shit because I look at it like, damn, that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? That could have been us. That could have been anybody. So it means a life. It means a lot to me. Oh, you're a lifer. I don't think that far into my Marine Corps career. Because like I said earlier, you never know. Tomorrow I could wake up and be a millionaire. And I'll be gone. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't think that far into my military career. If that makes sense. I mean, that's just the way I think. Like, I take my enlistments 4 years at a time. Like, I plan my future 4 years at a time. So since I re-enlisted last year, I'm planning my Marine Corps career for 3 years from now. And I'll be on recruiting duty. I'll be back in California, so I already know where I will be for the next however many years. So after that, after recruiting duty, let's just say, Hollywood want to cast me in a Marvel movie or something, I'll absolutely be available. Put me in Black Panther 3, goddammit, because I'll be there. I'll be ready for you. Hell, I can be the next Miles Morales. I can be anybody you need me to be. That's the way I think, though, What happened? What happened? What happened? I'm sorry, sir, but I need to leave your channel. Your content has become stale. Well, you can leave, goddammit. There's 84 other thousand motherfuckers who like it. There's 84 other thousand motherfuckers who thinks it's not stale. So you're free to leave. Okay. Absolutely. Let's see. We got user 9000 laughing my ass off. Latanya Solomon, how dare you say something like that? That's very disrespectful comment or raping. Actually, United States is triple for civilians. I don't know what you're referring to. Did you hear about the amphibious vehicle on the West? Yes, I actually live streamed that whenever it happened. I think I was brand new out here in Okinawa. I was either brand new. I forgot how long that ago. I think I was out here in Okinawa whenever that happened. I think I was, to be completely honest. I'm not sure. But yes, I'm aware of that. And it hit me hard. Why? Because I actually served at the test branch. So I was actually at the test branch for like 8 months. It's where they actually test new variants of the AAV. So I was there. So for like 8 months, my sole purpose was essentially I'm an Amtracker. Okay, I'm here helping the Marine Corps find the next AAV's replacement. That was my sole purpose. So the fact that, I was there for 8 months and to hear about the news that what happens to the tracks, that hit me hard because I know what went into testing those vehicles to make sure that they're safe. I knew firsthand. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm aware of that. I'm interested in the military, coach, and appreciate your input. Also, I'm up at 05 regularly anyways. I had jobs that require to be up at 3 or 4 a.m. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Get up in the morning, man. Like the early, you guys don't understand, the earlier you get your day started, the better your day is going to be. If you wake up at 8 o'clock every day, you're going to have, that's 4 hours you wasted. You wake up at 4 o'clock. And I look at it like officers. Officers wake up at like 4 o'clock, right? Officers, they wake up at 4 o'clock. They go get their coffee. They go to the beach. They get their surfboard. They go surf. They do all of this shit while my ass wakes up at, 6 o'clock. They do all of this stuff, man. You got to live your life. Live your life like an officer, man. Get up at 4 o'clock and go do something. Go for a run. Go for a little hike. You're the only one reviewing Generation Kill. I'm going to review a lot of Generation Kill. I have more videos. I just got to separate them a little bit, right? Generation Kill, for those who don't know, is probably the most accurate depiction of the Marine Corps. Like, I honestly believe whoever directed that motherfucker was a Marine. Because there's no way in hell whoever directed that motherfucker wasn't a Marine. Okay? They had to have some Marines, not just any Marines. They had to have a bunch of Lance Corporals on set being like, yo, say this shit, do this shit here. Because you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, man. I was in an amphibious unit, and I would never get into the water with those things. Was it a new V? Nah, it was the AAV. It was a P7. It was a P7, regular AAV. At the POW scene, the colonel there, yeah. What's going on? How you guys doing? Fun fact, Rudy in the show is the real Rudy. I don't know what the hell you guys talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the month of December up here. I got this stuff up here for a reason so that I can keep track of it and I can see it. Month of December, 7.5 million views, 8,000 subscribers in the month of December. We're only 22 days into January, and I can tell you right now, we more than doubled this right here. And we're more than tripled this number right here in the month of January. So I got to say thank you guys so much for coming alive in the month of January, helping this channel start the New Year's off right by getting over 18,000 subscribers so far in the month of January. That is amazing. I just got to say from the bottom of my heart, that's amazing. We're breaking all types of records and expectations that were set on the channel at the beginning of the year. They said we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers in the month of May. That's what YouTube is recommending. In the month of May. How disrespectful is that? Come on, YouTube. Don't disrespect us like that, man. We're only, 16,000 away? And they saying we're going to hit it in the month of May? That's 4.5 months from now. Come on. I will say this, though, before I go. Because it is 12:37 in the morning here. I got to get some rest. Thank you, guys. How long are you serving in the Marine Corps? I can tell you right now, I am serving for another 3.5 years. Why? Because I already re-enlisted last year. So I can't give you the answer now. Reason why is just like I said, I don't think ahead that far. I think, in the next when does my contract ends? Excuse me. My contract ends in 2024. Cool. Let me plan my life for 2024 and beyond. Okay, if what I want to do, if I don't see that or foresee that happening, the Marine Corps is probably going to be it, and I can go from there. So I live my enlistments by my enlistments. I don't think too far ahead. I don't, The Osprey was surprisingly smaller than I thought it would be when I saw it up close. Yeah, you got to go inside it, man. Now the Osprey can fit can fit razors, the little razors in it, the Recon razors. So the Osprey isn't small. It isn't small. You guys should see the new the King Stallions, the CH53s. I think it's kilos or something like that. Those things can fit a Humvee in the back of that motherfucker. I'm like, damn. Yeah, you guys be safe. For those in the future who's going to watch this video to its entirety, who gets to this point, I want to say thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. I apologize, I live streamed so early to where you guys missed the live stream. But yeah, I'm glad you guys can make it. Here is my other channel, by the way. I have another channel. I'm going to be making a lot of videos in regards to Japan. So if you guys are interested in joining the Marine Corps who probably want to come to Japan, just know that any type of video you imagine, I'm going to be posting on this channel right here. You guys can follow that channel at Demetrius Patterson. That's my other channel. Only has like 200 subscribers, so fairly new, but I posted a new video in regards to American Village. So if you guys want to go check that video out, please do so. You guys just type in Demetrius Patterson. You'll see me, you see my profile picture, and go follow that channel as well, so that way you guys can, get caught up in regards to that, because I will be posting a lot of videos in regards to Okinawa, Japan on that channel in the next year. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we literally have less than a year left in Japan. Less than a year left in Japan. I go to my school in January of next year, or January, of next year. Go to my MOS school. So, it's ticking. Time is ticking, I was expected to be out here until September of 2023, but I got a class seat at recruiting school, I got to go handle that business. So I'll be recruiting in Orange County, California. Don't know where exactly. I'm going to be in Orange County though. So if you guys are there, feel free to hit me up and everything in regards to that, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just excited to go back home next year. You know what I'm saying? I saw gas price. Gas is $5 a gallon in California. What the hell is going on in California? Gas is $5 a gallon. Not even for the premium, for the cheap shit. It's $4.99 for the goddamn regular. What is it? The 87 ethanol? I'm like, God damn. $5.30 for premium. What the hell is going on in California, ladies and gentlemen? For gas? The gas you put in your car to drive from point A to point B? $5 a gallon? Damn. I'm happy I got a Ford Focus, boy. I got a Ford Focus. Yes, indeed. It still costs like $40 to fill that Ford Focus up, but guess what? I won't be at the pumps nearly as much. Bro, LA is not in Orange County. Japanese way of life looks dope. Yeah, you guys follow the channel. You guys are going to see it. I'm going to be putting all the content out there, in terms of like all the malls out here in Okinawa, Japan. I'm going to be recording all the malls, upload them to the channel. So please go subscribe to that channel at Demetrius Patterson. Trying to get that channel up. Yeah. Focus keeps going down and I don't drive it that much. Also, bro, how would you rate serving in a USMC from 0 to 20? I give it a 13. From 0 to 20, I give it a 13. Serving in the military will never be perfect. Here's why. There's too many individuals in the military. Too many individuals that will prevent it from being perfect. So that's why we have sexual assaults. That's why we have DUIs. That's why we have training, fatalities that's going wrong. That's why we have all of those things. So it will never be perfect. Why? Because we have too many individuals who come from too many places. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. That's the way it is. I give it a 13 though. I feel like it's a lot of things in the Marine Corps that could be better, that could be fixed. We just have to realize that stuff needs fixing, and we have to fix it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. Give it a 13. It's above 50%, but it's not quite there. It's not getting to the point to where it needs to get. I'm sure we'll get there at some point in time, though, with new leadership and everything coming in. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. But it's not there yet. You should come back to Carolina. Gas is cheaper. Ew. I wouldn't mind being stationed in Carolina. I wouldn't mind being stationed in North Carolina. But as far as recruiting, fuck that. If I'm gonna recruit, I figured, okay, recruiters wake up every morning they hating their lives anyway. So I feel like I might as well be in California to where I can watch the sun rise and watch that bitch drop on a coastline every day versus being in North Carolina to where it drops on the opposite side of the beach. I want to watch my sunset drop at the beach, not the opposite side of the beach. That just doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be in California. Besides, as much as expensive as California is, that's home. I've been there for 5 years. I dedicated California as home. I feel like I have more opportunities and possibilities after the Marine Corps in California. So that's why, my wife's family's there. That's my family now, since, we're married. The gas is $5 a gallon. Damn. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, that's home. But yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. It's getting a little late. Still early for you guys. It's like 12:46 a.m. for me. It's in the morning time for me. But thank you guys so much for stopping by, watching the videos and watching the streams and everything. Please, for those who came late, please stroll back to the beginning of this live stream and get that valuable information that I'm saying. It could be the difference maker. It could honestly be the difference maker between, whether you guys are joining the Marine Corps or what. But we have to start taking what we do seriously. We have to, and that shit doesn't start at the top. That stuff starts at the bottom. We need PFCs, Lance Corporals, to start doing doing what they're supposed to do. So that way we can become a better Marine Corps in the future. But thank you guys so much for stopping by watching the streams. Until, as always, it's your boy, and I'm out.